I'd like to call this meeting of the International Falls City Council to order. It's 5:30 p.m., July 21st. Please rise as we say the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It can be noted for the record this evening that all members of council are present. Next is to approve, the agenda with any additions or deletions.
I'll move.
Second.
We have a motion by Councillor Kaler to approve this evening's agenda as presented, support by Councillor Wagner. Is there any discussion? Question?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Aye.
I'll vote yes. Agenda is approved unanimously. Thank you. Next on this evening's agenda, approval of minutes from prior meetings. First, minutes of the Monday, July 7th, 2025 regular city council meeting. Second, minutes of the Monday, July 14th, 2025 committee of the whole meeting. Third, minutes of the Monday, July 14th, 2025 special city council meeting. I would ask for a motion that these be approved.
Move to approve.
We have a motion by Councillor Buller.
Second.
Second by Councillor Wagner. Is there any discussion on approving the previous minutes from prior meetings? Seeing no questions, call the question.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Aye.
I'll vote yes. Minutes are approved unanimously. Thank you. Next on this evening's agenda, payment of claims and approval for payment of accounts payable. We will begin. First of all, with transfers. City of International Falls transfers $33,333.33 from both water and sewer to Fund 401 Permanent Improvement. Also transfers from number 601 water of $16,666.67 and transfers from number 603 sewer of $12,500. These are both to Fund number 403, reserved for capital outlay, for a total of $29,166.67. For total transfers, $95,833.33. Next, accounts payable and claims. City of International Falls claims $599,581.32. International Falls Public Library Board claims $9,738.91. This brings us to total accounts payable and claims, $609,320.23. Is there a motion to approve these transfers and payments of claims?
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion by Councillor Holden. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councillor Kaler. Two items. While discussion is open, is there any discussion amongst the council at this time? My first question is, I believe some new pickup trucks have shown up that the city purchased under our lease program, and is that reflected in these transfers and payments of claims?
Mayor, I am unaware of it, but
I remember seeing some 2025 pickups in the, while I was reading.
Okay.
I'd assume those are them. I don't think we've gotten any others this year.
Does the council typically approve the purchase of vehicles, or is it in the program?
It's in the program.
Okay.
The lease program. And they just happened to, this is when they showed up.
Thank you. Second question is, it's been brought to my attention about the parking lot reconstruction for the fire department and administration. If there is an overage for that, I would hope that it would be presented to the council.
That was bundled as a part of larger projects, so I think the engineer would be able to speak better to that, but that was already discussed, and the totality of the package came in where was anticipated and budgeted overall.
Okay,
For the parking lots, yes. The parking lot portion came in what was budgeted, yes.
okay, there hasn't been an overage of 80,000?
I don't know what you're speaking to.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions from council? Call the question on approving payments and claims.
Aye.
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 I'll vote yes. The bills are paid 5-0. Thank you. Next, at this time, we have open forum for anyone who would like to come forward and speak. Name and address for the record. And if I may, is there someone that would like to keep time for, please come forward if you'd like to speak, sir. I'm questioning my ability to run the meeting and run a stopwatch.
Hello, my name is Jim Lukacek. I'm going to start with, about 4 months ago, I came before you folks and offered my services. I do live in Bemidji, but I'm a taxpayer in Cooch County. I own property on Rainy Lake. I also have old homestead property down in southeast corner of Cooch where my grandpa homesteaded in 1906. So my roots are here. And if you remember, I said I'm on the way to retirement and going to move back to the Falls. I do have a small office on 3rd Street. Get to the point, March 17th, I came to you folks, said, hey, I'll donate my services. I'd like to get involved with the replacement of the band shell. I didn't get a lot of information, didn't receive much of anything from that request. I continued to kind of ask and look into it. Have now, I was in on the second virtual meeting, and I'm not sure how close the council or the general public in International Falls is following this, but that committee is, I just had a question mark. I didn't understand the meeting. They showed examples of other parks, and they were doing a master plan concept. They're looking into other ideas. I was asked to say, well, you got to keep your mind open. And I kept saying, well, the band shell is a historic piece of our town. And this should be a very simple situation. Replace the band shell with something that looks and acts like the band shell in our historic Smoky Bear Park, and make sure that it meets all current codes. Your insurance policy should be a replacement policy concept. I think this kind of a decision should come from the community, and it should come from the people that vote you folks in. You should be watching that very closely, and you should be listening to what they say. The other thing, I was a Beltrami County Commissioner for 14 years. I won 4 elections, 4 four-year terms. I watched huge budgets of $50 to $100 million, balancing budgets, watching contingencies, countless committees. I've sat in more committee meetings than I ever care to ever again. But I just kept reiterating in that meeting, that virtual meeting, and they are going to have another one tomorrow, and I've been invited to that one. But they brought so many case studies and this and that, and I just kept asking the simple question, why aren't we just simply rebuilding the band shell the way it was, where it was, make it look like that, but meet accessibility codes? It could be just that simple. The public sector tends to do that. They tend to try to figure out better, and maybe, well, now we take the possibility of doing something different and adding this and adding that, and keep your mind open and make it, that's all great. Do a master plan. If the band shell was still standing, would the city have money and resources to put towards a master plan to redesign Smoky Bear Park to do new amenities and get new facilities? I would answer that question, probably not. You have other things in the boiler, right? You have other things that are important. You have health, welfare, safety of your citizens. Those things come first. Fun stuff and that, amenities, those are all secondary. You need to take care of those basic services first and foremost. So I also asked for some information, which I haven't really gotten any. I did get some minutes from the first virtual meeting that they did, but I also requested, how much money have you paid your engineering firm to get us to the point where we are now, which is nowhere? We've torn down the band shell. There's no plan. There's no direction on how you're going to move forward. They're in the process now, the committee, of exploring possibilities and thinking about what to do. When I think if you ask, straw polls and when we're out in the community talking to folks, I think everybody just kind of has it that, we lost the band shell, we're going to build a new one, make it look like that, put it back in the same spot so that we can do the bass tournament and music, poem reading, whatever. But that band shell was put there for a purpose, to be part of the historic Smoky Bear Park. So that's 5 minutes. It should be a simple solution. Simple design. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening. Hi, my name's Margie Irachi. I also reside in Bemidji, but am a property owner in International Falls. I just set my timer, pardon me. And I also want to reiterate, I grew up with the band shell here. I heard stories from my dad when he was younger of how important the band shell was to the community. It was devastating to me and a lot of the folks in town when the band shell burned. And when I go out and talk to people, the resounding, everyone just is assuming, of course we're going to replace the band shell how it was. It was historic, important part of the community, and I would like to know how we're moving forward for that process to happen. And I'm kind of surprised to hear that with the insurance money that other things are being discussed, when it should be a simple, I agree, it should be simply you replace the band shell and make it historically as accurate as possible, following code. My livelihood, I'm an inspector, so I understand about code and following rules. But to take the insurance money and go a different direction doesn't seem like the correct focus. It was an historic band shell. Everyone loved it. And if it didn't burn down, it would be there and people would be happy and we wouldn't be talking about going different directions. Or if we did, the city would have to find the money elsewhere. Shouldn't be looking at the insurance money that I believe should be used to replace the band shell historically as accurate as they can. And if the city council or if the community wants to eventually have a master plan and focus on doing other amenities, that's great. But I think the focus should be replace the band shell, historic band shell, as accurate as can be, follow the code, and not go other directions. And, I mean, I'd like to know how much money have we spent so far to the engineer. Can anyone tell me what has been spent so far? Because I don't see results besides the foundation being torn down. And that was a big surprise because I'm in construction and I feel that that possibly could have been saved, and handicapped accessibility, you know, that was a waste of money, I feel. But can anyone just answer me how much money has been spent on consulting fees this far? Is there any, I mean, has any, there's no,
I don't have the exact number in front of me, no. I can get
Can-
that number and share it, absolutely.
yeah, I think the public would like to know.
That's public record.
Because right now, it's empty space. I don't see the path going forward. I think you can spin your wheels and spend a lot of money on consulting fees. And here we have a person with a construction background in Jim Lukacek volunteering his services at no cost to the community, and it's sad to me that he's not being fully utilized and he's not being given the information that he's requested for months. That's sad to hear. So that's just my 2 cents. I thank you for your time. The community wants the band shell replaced as it was. They don't want a bunch of fluff in another direction. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor Dill, Alyssa Hackenmuller is online and would like to speak. Mayor Dill, I've got Alyssa Hackenmuller that had raised her hand prior to the last person requesting to speak online. So just,
Okay.
Is it my turn or not?
We're going to let Alyssa go first. Just apparently she had raised her hand virtually, but I think you can
sit
you can
there.
stay
just
there.
online.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Alyssa, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, I don't have the best service, so I'm going to leave my my video off so I can hopefully stream better. I'm just getting off the lake, but I wanted to be here tonight. Thank you, Mayor Dill and council members. I'm here on behalf of the Borderland Treatment Court to formally invite you to join us at Smoky Bear Park on Tuesday, August 5th at 5 p.m. We are joining forces with National Night Out to celebrate our 20th year anniversary of Treatment Court right here in Coochin County. I believe Ms. Bergstrom was kind enough to help me provide you all with copies of our actual invitation. And if not, I can certainly send those out again. But just a little background, Borderland Treatment Court originated 20 years ago through the hard work and dedication of the Honorable Charles Leduc, retired district court judge, probation agent Troy Radio, who is still our amazing agent here for the treatment court, and Jim Ebersbacher, who you may remember, he was a probation officer at the time, turned coordinator for our treatment court, and is now actually the division director for DWI courts at All Rise, the national agency on treatment courts, which is pretty amazing. He kind of started his career here in International Falls. So we're going to be recognizing their hard work and all the hard work of staff for the past 20 years, and the participants who have been in and out of our program and successful as well. So at 5 o'clock at Smoky Bear Park on National Night Out, we're just going to have a little ceremony. It'll be short and sweet, but we would love to see you all there, and it's also open to the public as well.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
We look forward to it.
Awesome. I look forward to seeing you all there. Have a great night.
You as well.
Thank you.
Next. Good evening.
Nancy Imhoff, 339 3rd Street. Who on the council here is on that ban shell committee?
Me and Counselor Wagner.
Okay, okay. I'm just going to ask outright questions as to numbers. What was the ban shell insured for?
I don't know right offhand.
How can you not know?
I don't have the exact number. I don't have the policy in front of me.
You got to have, okay, an estimate. What do you think it was insured for? Because nobody knows how much it was insured for, how much has been spent. Nobody answers any questions.
I do not know what has been spent to date. That I can't answer without
Well, I just
asking.
think it's a pretty sad state of affairs when nobody knows anything about an issue like this. And it's been going on for months and months with no information. I also agree that we just need to rebuild a ban shell. I don't see how, with the economics the way they are and the shape that our city is in, how you could even consider doing anything other than that, like a bigger facility or whatnot. We're going to be lucky just to get a ban shell rebuilt, by the sounds of it. I just think it's time to, I don't think it should take very much time to figure this out. Why is it being drug out? I mean, and the other thing, what the other two had mentioned about it being a historical structure, it was also named after a person who served the community as band director for years and years and years. Is that supposed to just disappear now too? By building some other sort of, I don't know what you guys have planned. But that's something to take into consideration too. That's not right, just to do away with why it was built and who it was named after. But I just don't understand how you can think that you can do anything, I mean, besides, in addition, at this point, maybe somewhere down the line when things are better, but at this point, just to get this structure up and to use the money that is supposed to be used for a band shell, you should just be moving forward with that. We don't need a bunch of studies. It's I want to reiterate, everybody just wants a band shell. If you want to expand on that down the road someday, that'd be great.
Mrs. Imhoff, couple items of note. The band shell is currently in committee discussions with Councilor Kaler and Councilor Wagner. At some point, something will be coming back to the council to vote on, hopefully with the budget. To the best of my knowledge, I just looked here. My understanding was the band shell was insured for $709,000.
Okay,
Contents of 15,552.
okay. Well, hopefully that'll be enough. I have no idea. I also think the cement foundation would have been fine the way it was and could have been made handicapped accessible, but I just feel that you should just go back to trying to rebuild the band shell as is, because I don't think the city is in a position to try to do anything more than that financially, but I feel it's the wishes of most of the people to keep it close to as is and should still carry the name of Pete Peterson. Thank you.
Thank you.
Rhonda Benedict's, 909 6th Street. My question is for Chelsea. I would like to know who you think you are by coming out after me after the last city council meeting.
To have a discussion with you after?
No, that was no discussion. That was no discussion.
Oh, okay. I consider a discussion.
No,
I'm sorry.
lots of witnesses. No discussion. You came out after me, hollering
Talked
at
to
me.
you.
No,
No, I was trying to catch up with you.
no,
Yes.
If,
unprofessional.
Miss Benedicts, if there's a complaint against someone, whether it be a contractor or a city employee, I think that that needs to be addressed to the council, in which then we would address that in return.
Okay, then I'm complaining, because she came out after me after the last city council meeting.
And Chelsea, is that something that we would typically request from a council in writing?
I have no idea.
Okay. I don't.
More than willing to speak with Ms. Benedicts, but I doubt she'd like to speak with me.
Would that suffice for you?
As in what, like where?
I don't want to suppress you, so I would like to continue, is what I'm concerned about, is that if we're going to receive complaints about people who work for the city, and it's a bigger issue, then we would have to take action on. I don't know this would be the appropriate time. So please continue.
So what would you like me to do? Like, what are the steps you would like me to take? You want me to say it now, or what would you like me to
I
do?
have to ask Chelsea what steps those are. She's our counsel.
I have no idea. I don't do complaints.
Mayor, if I may, I would suggest that something in writing addressed to myself or to you, and then we could handle it internally, working with our HR director on how to resolve that matter and work with the individual, whether it's a contracted employee or a full-time regular employee. We would work through that through our HR director.
That's what I was getting at. That is, if it's going to be something in that nature, that's what I would ask for.
All right, I can do that.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Hello, I'm Bobby Bernath, and I live at 1900 6th Avenue. And I have a few questions for the people that are on the band shell committee. I hear rumors out there, and why I'm here is I just want to know, is it true that one of the plans, because we don't see any of the plans, has a splash park and some things like that? I know, rumors, so that's why I'm here to ask those questions.
That's for the committee, if
Right.
you would, please.
No.
No.
No, there is no plans for a splash park to go there. It might have come up at the meeting that people have saved money for a splash park and whatnot, but there's no plan to put it there. And while we're here, I'll just continue with our plan. The plan is, because I just want to touch on the engineer who keeps coming up. Our insurance company required us to get an engineer involved so we could carry on with the process. This is last summer when this began. That's why it's there. And luckily, they were there. They found things that they didn't think were correct from the adjuster's point of view. And ever since then, I'm not blaming it all on the insurance or not, but that's been kind of the holdup. And we're still waiting for the final tally. And we don't plan on spending any more money than we get for the band shell. But we also, because we took this as an opportunity, if we can do something different maybe and use a more versatile type of band shell music venue. And all this other stuff about a bigger plan is just talk about other possibilities way down the future. And that's what that is. And as far as Pete Peterson, we have his plaque that it will be named that, whatever version it ends up being built, it will be still named after him, and that will be up. And that's kind of how we got here to where we are today. And if Councilor Wagner has any other.
We've reached out to community members. We've talked to a lot of them. I know what we've been told here tonight is everybody wants a band shell. Well, they don't. Not everybody does. And we have to look out for the entire community, not just band shell people. So we're trying to get something that covers both.
Yeah.
But stay under
The budget.
the cost. And it's not easy, but we're trying.
So as a public person, how do you, did I miss a meeting or something on your plans? Is there, I mean...
No, it's
or is
still in
it
committee,
behind?
so there is no plans yet. There was a big picture presentation, and that's all. There's no actual plans yet.
Okay, so in these committee meetings, how, there's rumors all the time, and then we get here, and all we do is complain to you guys. Is there a way that we can get minutes or something to the public so we're more informed, so that when we come here, we can maybe get things done, other than saying, I don't know? Do you see what I'm asking?
Yeah. And they're open meetings, they're not secret meetings. They said tomorrow is the meeting, but I think it's actually Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
At 9 o'clock
Okay.
here.
Okay.
I would recommend that if you're up to it, to ask Administrator Bergstrom for those meeting notices, or since it's rather an informal committee meeting, that if that's something you'd like to sit in on or attend, you have every right to do that.
Okay, are all those meetings on the website?
I don't think so.
The times of those?
No.
Do you
Well, the
think,
times would be,
and what meeting
they-
it is?
I think they're on the calendar.
yeah, the
Okay,
times.
If they're not, I'll make sure they're on the calendar, but I think they're on there.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, I would like to move on to our consent agenda. There will be another opportunity to come forward towards the end of this meeting. We have one item on the consent agenda this evening, which is to approve a 2025 license renewal, Twisted Tacos, an itinerant restaurant license. Is there a motion and second to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilors Buller and Wagner. There is no discussion. I would like to call the question.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
I will vote yes. This license is approved unanimously. Thank you. Next, on this evening's agenda, we move to new business. Item 1, set canvassing meeting date as per Minnesota statute 204D.27 for Wednesday, August 13th, 2025 at 4 p.m.
I'll move.
We have a motion on the floor by Councilor Kaler,
Second.
second by Councilor Wagner, and this would be to canvass the votes from the referendum on the 12th, correct?
Yes, sir.
Is there any discussion?
Just for clarification, Mayor, it's not a referendum, it's just a special election of the City of International
A
Falls.
special election.
Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any discussion? Question?
Aye.
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 I'll vote yes. The special election is approved 5-0. Thank you. New business item 2, adopt a resolution for exempt permit for the Local 33 to conduct a raffle on October 10th, 2025 at Bob Walls Memorial Union Hall, 509 3rd Street.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Councilor
Second.
Holden, second by Councilor Buller. Discussion. And is there anyone here to speak in support of this? I don't believe there is. I would like to call the question now.
Aye.
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 I'll vote yes. Permit is approved 5-0. Thank you. Item 3, Public Works Committee recommendations. Item A, consider approval of Public Works excess property list and allow sale through McLaughlin Auctioneers LLC.
I'll move.
Second.
Motions by Councilor Kaler and Wagner to approve this. If this is approved to call it the Public Works auction, is there any place that the funds will be kept from the sale of the property?
You want to answer, Emma, or I can?
Yeah, the sale of property will go back into capital outlay for purchase of future acquisitions of equipment.
Of anything or just Public Works?
Typically, I would be putting it into a Public Works dedicated line.
Okay. I would like to offer the council, I think that it would be stewardly to consider what we do with the funds if there's an auction, particularly where we came in with the budget last year and the situation with the ambulance and the situation with the general fund. I know that money moves around at times as it needs to because there's different needs citywide. But I think I would ask that it be a consideration by council.
And the only comment that I would make in opposite point of that is when we have vehicles that are sold directly to enterprise, those go back against those respective departments. So when the police has sold vehicles, they have had those in kind in exchange for the vehicles that they acquire. So that is the anticipation for that department. So just so the council's aware of that.
Okay. Understand, and is it consistent with if that department comes looking for money in other departments?
I'm sorry, I didn't quite understand what the question was. Say that again.
I just, my ask is that it's consistent with other departments.
It would be consistent with other departments, the fire department or the police department or another department trades in a vehicle or sells a piece of property, they receive those funds.
Okay. Question?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
I'll vote no. Motion carries 4-1. Thank you. Public Works Committee recommendation, item B, update on Stenberg addition project. I'd like to welcome City Engineer Jason Fisher forward. Thank you, Jason.
Hi, Mr. Mayor, Council. I'd like to have my associate, Dean Hellstrom, he's a senior project manager, that he's actually managing these projects. So I'd like to have him give an update on the Stenberg that you requested.
Mayor and council, thank you for your time this evening. We have originally our plan for the Stenberg addition included a mill and overlay along with full depth patch over the area that, if you're aware, out there is the storm sewer line that has what we have looked at is that area where we're going to do a full depth patch over the storm sewer. And upon further investigation this year, or this spring, we're looking at what would that be if we relocated the storm from the street into the green space in the right-of-way. So we have attained some numbers associated with that, but we're also looking at now what side makes better sense. Initially, we were looking at the east side on 15th Avenue and then the south side. Today, we did not have information on this gas line is in a pretty good location there, so I'm going to meet with the contractor to see if that is still a possibility to go on that side, or if we need to look at the other side to relocate that. The funds from that, what we would look at doing is using the funds from the full depth patch and transfer those over to paying for the storm improvements. So overall, we'll be approximately about, we have some other cost savings within the project, so we'll probably run a little bit over on that portion, but I think we'll be able to make up for it in the other areas of the projects that we have going on.
Thank you. This has been a concern from many residents who live in that addition. the storm sewer that, for lack of better terms, appears to be pushing out of the ground.
One of the things that we in looking at is the cover on the storm. The vast majority of it was under 3 feet of cover. We're looking at, and the other thing that we noticed is it was oversized. But I think it was oversized to include future developments coming in from the south into that storm line. But when Keenan came through, that storm, an additional trunk storm line came through, and therefore the need for that additional storm water in that development is not needed. So we are looking at downsizing some of those lines for that. And allows us to have more cover on the pipe, therefore prevent it from hopefully moving in the future.
Thank you. And will you be presenting once we know what the new estimate is, or if it's feasible to move the current storm sewer in that project to the green space? How will that process work?
We can. We wouldn't typically bring that type of, but we can bring it to the next Public Works Committee meeting and then
Okay.
make the decision from there, how to, if we want to bring it back to the council for a decision.
Further, any questions or concerns amongst counselors? I know that everybody will be excited when this project is complete.
Yes, I will too. The other thing I wanted to let everybody know, today we handed out notices for a neighborhood meeting for the residents along 9th Street. That will be held next Tuesday from 4:30 to 6:30 at the 8th Street Park. So we'll be setting up a tent, have some refreshments, and explain to the property owners what will be taking place on the 9th Street project. That work will probably start on the first week of August. They'll be starting, most likely taking trees down throughout the project area, grubbing those from 8th Avenue and to the west. And again, the area of work taking place will be from 8th Avenue to 14th. 8th to 11th will be sewer water storm, and then from 11th to 14th will be the trail improvements. And we'll provide updates on websites and have ability for homeowners to get text updates on progress of the project.
Thank you.
You bet.
I just got one question about Stenberg. There's part of the problem just where it's at, where it's built. What Stenberg, if you around my age or maybe a little older, you'll understand what I'm talking about, what Stenberg was before it became the addition. I mean, with what maybe, just as part of the problem, why it's happening, I guess, as I'm asking the question. Because it used to be wall swamp and there might have been some stuff dumped in there, stuff like
Yep.
that.
It is my understanding that is potentially some of the problem that we have, depth again on the storm. We would be subcutting underneath it to prevent some of that movement that we currently are experiencing.
Okay, thank you.
You bet.
Thank you. Next, we will move on to new business number 4, recommendations from the Committee of the Whole. Item A, consider approval of moving the roller hockey rink to the outdoor rink at Cary Park. Is there any discussion?
I'll move.
I have a motion by Counselor Wagner and Counselor Buller. Discussion on moving the roller rink.
Well, I thought maybe me and you know a little more about the others here. The Rainy Lake Pickleball Association has been looking for more court space where they play up at, and where the roller rink pickleball courts are up at Old Haller School. And they get quite a group there, especially on Sundays and Wednesdays and all around. And to make it more conducive, they have offered to redo the roller hockey rink part of that space to turn it into 3 more pickleball courts. Is that the number? I don't have my thing in front of me. And to pay for it, and this will take place when they have raised enough funds, which we're working on. And then we are going, the plan is to move the roller rink part of it to Cary Park and use the inside of the outdoor rink there. And we checked that, shouldn't be a problem. Just got to make sure it's open. And actually, at one of the committee meetings, we had, for another reason, had some rec hockey board members, and they thought maybe that might even encourage some more use with it being at the hockey rink. If I forgot anything, please add, Mayor.
You covered all the bases, Counselor.
All right.
Discussion from others? Question?
Aye.
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 All vote yes, item A is approved unanimously. Thank you. Next, item 4 from Committee of the Whole. Number 4, item B, consider approval to allow Rainy Lake Pickleball Association to resurface and convert the roller hockey rink section of the outdoor facilities on 19th Street and 2nd Avenue East into 3 additional pickleball courts at no cost to the city.
I'll move.
I'll second it.
Motions first by Counselor Kaler, second by Counselor Holden. Again, I believe you just covered.
I was going to just ask, did my spiel cover it the first time? Yes.
Please, Counselor Wagner.
They're not going to start this till we get the roller rink moved to Cary Park.
Right, yeah, because they'd still have, right,
Right?
Yeah.
And make sure that all works before
yep,
this goes. Just to be sure.
yep.
And I just think it's great that we have a growing community-minded organization in town with, if it's okay to say, the pickleballers. Is this something, Chelsea, that you think would need a contract or anything? Is what my question would be, at no cost to the city, or what if the project was left and not finished?
If it's going to be city-owned property, I do think a contract of some sort should exist.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to complicate this, but I think that we need to protect.
Cover ourselves, yep.
I believe the motions were by Counselor Kaler and Holden, is that correct?
Yep.
And would you be amendable to adding with a simple contract signed by the association?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Just to clarify, I was anticipating some sort of lease or something like that. That's not what you're referring to?
No, they're just gonna pay for the
They're going to pay for the coating going.
coating and, yeah,
Like
but
$9,600 to put the new coating on there.
Yep, so I think that would be one contract. I think we may have to visit later, even if there isn't a lease amount. I don't recommend having a continuous set schedule to utilize city property without some sort of agreement. So it would be twofold that you'd be looking at contracts.
No, yes.
and I would just say, well, they do that now up there, so we should have one now. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
So we're making all kinds of, see
They
how
didn't say it's gonna
complicated
be
things
easy,
can
Joe.
get?
Yeah.
At this point,
I'll keep amending.
would you be amendable to both items that Attorney Nelson has proposed to the original amendment?
Yes.
Okay. If I broke Robert's Rules of Order, please accept my apology, but I'd like to call the question.
Aye.
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 I'll vote yes. This is approved unanimously, 5-0. Thank you. Next, from Committee of the Whole, item C, consider approval for the International Falls Ambulance Service to conduct an emergency medical technician certification class beginning October 2025 through March 2026. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Counselor Buller,
I'll second for discussion.
second for discussion by Counselor Wagner. Floor is now open for discussion for council.
So the question on this is, the class will run through March of '26. We don't know where we're going to be at with the ambulance, and that's the worry of what Chief was asking. So,
From committee?
yeah.
Okay, thank you.
From the Public Safety Committee. So that is a question we got to ask there.
Yeah, I understand. I've been thinking about the, if we could, one thing I was thinking, because it was brought up to me before, is if whatever happens with the ambulance, if the person that's doing the instructing, and if the fire department, the city was amenable, we could finish out the course with that person teaching, and just, even if we don't longer have the service, paying him to do that.
Was it going to be a paramedic
Yes.
that had offered to
Yep.
teach, or that we're compensating
Yep.
to do so?
Yeah.
And in the new legislation, I believe there's some reimbursement for
Yep.
EMT training.
Yeah.
I guess the only thing there's Public Safety Committee where this stems from, then it eventually makes its way here, that the importance of EMTs for any ambulance service, that if Rainier owned the ambulance or the county, I feel like we would still be doing a good deed by trying to bring more EMTs.
The more the better, and whether we have a paramedic base or EMT base, we're still going to need the EMTs on both counts. That's it. I don't know if that works. I mean, there'd be some, to continue paying for the instructor, so, if they do that. But yes, there is, I do believe there's reimbursement, like you guys are saying.
Any further discussion? Question?
Aye.
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 I'll vote yes. This is approved 5-0. Thank you. Committee of the Whole, item D, consider approval of the Earned Sick and Safe Time Policy, better known as ESST, in accordance with legislative updates.
I'll move.
A motion by Counselor Buller has been presented.
Second.
Second by Counselor Holden. This is an item that we've been briefed on that's mandated by the state. There is a cost to it, but there is no consideration other than to comply.
That's right.
Yeah.
Any further discussion? Call the question.
Aye.
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 I'll vote yes. This carries unanimously, 5-0. Thank you, Committee of the Whole. Item E, consider approval to submit an application to MN OSHA Safety Grant for funds to purchase cameras for City Hall and the adjacent parking lot.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilors Holden and Wagner. Now for discussion. This was presented last week at Committee of the Whole by Sherry Stensland. And my understanding is that the first step is to apply for a grant, in which if we receive the funds, then we would move ahead with it. And if not, we would have to address it in the 2026 budget when that time comes. Any discussion? Question?
Aye.
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 I'll vote yes. This carries 5-0. Thank you. Committee of the Whole, item F, consider additional action on the property located at 2020 11th Avenue. City Attorney Chelsea Nelson, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. This is the property that we took to trial. It's a blight file with vehicles, scrap metal, all sorts of stuff on the property owned by O'Leary. I'm trying to explain where it is, but I'm not good at that, and I wish Jared was here because he's better at that than I am. But it's essentially got multiple unlicensed vehicles on it, a lot of scrap metal, a lot of different things. He used to own a construction company, Bill Larson. So we went to trial, we won trial, he was convicted. He has a $1,000 fine stayed. That's the max that we can fine on that level of charge. And he was ordered to comply with cleaning the property up. We've had our first review hearing. Nothing's been done. I can't get him to get anything done. So you have a couple options. One, I can bring what's essentially called a probation violation and ask that the entire fine amount no longer be vacated and he have to pay the $1,000 fine. The problem with that is it's still not going to be cleaned up. And I can't charge that same thing again. That's called double jeopardy. So that would be the end of it. The other option is what's called a civil abatement process. That essentially is a civil action related to the criminal action where we bring a request to the court that the city be able to abate or kind of fix that nuisance, is what it's going to be, and ask for reimbursement to the city. We would also ask that it would be able to be assessed against real estate taxes. That last portion is not guaranteed. We could simply just get a judgment and the court won't allow us to assess based on the size of how much it costs to fix it. And it is going to cost some money. It's a large project and it's gonna cost quite a bit. So I'm just looking for guidance on which avenue you'd like me to pursue, if you'd like me to pursue neither of them, that sort of thing.
What is your first recommendation?
It really depends on how much you want to spend. And it comes down to council policy. If it is more important to enforce blight, make sure people are cleaning it up, I would recommend doing the abatement. But that obviously comes with a cost. My main concern being setting a precedence that we will take you to court, you'll get the max fine, we won't follow through and actually make the property be cleaned up. But like I said, it really comes down to the priority of the council. If that's something you want to make a priority right now, not saying we can't do it in the future, I just do have some concerns about the likelihood of cooperation going forward if there's no teeth in it.
Understand. Thank you, Chelsea. Does everyone, Councilor Buller, please?
You go with the abatement end of the way of it. Is that scrap iron and everything ours then right away to get sold? So we can reclaim some of our?
Not right away. It would be part of the court action that we can ask to be able to sell it. I don't have personal knowledge of how much money's worth of scrap metal or anything like that is. Certainly, you can just drive by and take a look publicly and make your kind of determination there, but I have absolutely no experience in estimating values of stuff.
And the concern is that if the council votes to just accept the fine of $1,000, that then there's precedent set that anything going forward, that may be the end result.
That may be the expectation. So a lot of my practice, how I work my cases is I'm able to give them an expected result. And if this is our only case and the expected result was a $1,000 fine, that's fine, but everyone else would be able to have that precedence knowledge that they may choose to not clean up the blight, have the fine outstanding, and that be it. Because we can't, fines aren't assessed or anything like that either. They just go to collections and potentially never get paid.
Do you have an estimate if civil abatement action is pursued?
For my costs or how much it's going to be to clean it?
Clean it.
Whatever we're on the hook for.
Might as well throw yours in there, too.
Yeah. I don't think mine would be any higher than going through, similar to the repair or raise orders I've done in the past. Those are less than 2,000 usually, unless they're really contested. It might be most beneficial to set this over to perhaps when Fire Marshal Baldwin can be here. He would be a much better resource to have that sort of idea, I think. Or he may just ask contractors potentially what they would charge.
Do we have a deadline now?
We have no deadline.
So we can postpone it and we can all get a look at it too then?
Moving this back to committee of the whole would be an option when there's more info available from both Fire Marshal Baldwin and yourself?
Yes.
Is there a motion to do so?
I move.
Motion by Councillor Buller to refer this back to committee of the whole.
Second.
Second by Councillor Holden. Discussion on the topic. Question?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
I'll vote yes. This moves back to the committee of the whole, next regularly scheduled unanimously. Thank you. New business, item 5. Is there any other business to come before the council? Seeing no further business, we'll move on to reports of boards, committees, and department heads, which are in our packets. I don't think since our meeting last week, is there anything, we probably haven't even met for most of our items.
No.
At this point, we can move back to any comments under our open forum, if anyone would like to come forward.
Nancy Imhoff, 339 3rd Street. Just one final thought on the ban shell. So if the insurance policy isn't specific about replacing that structure with something very similar, and you feel that there's a lot of people in the community that want something different than that, then perhaps you guys should initiate a survey, a poll, a vote by the public as to what kind of structure they want to see, since the community, the citizens are the ones that are going to be using it and enjoying it, rather than waste months and months and months on talking about it. Just a thought.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening. Lisa Mortensen, 1826 10th Avenue East. I just have some clarifications on the EMT class. So we're going to hold an EMT class that goes from October to March. A paramedic is the instructor for this class. If by chance we don't have ALS starting January 1st, can you clarify what do you mean by paying the instructor? Because he teaches this outside of his normal job. And do you expect him to stay in our community for an extra 3 months just to teach a 4-hour class every 2 days? Like, I want you to really think about this.
And I understand what you're saying, and I mentioned that, and I also said we'd have to talk to him and the fire department to see if they're amenable to that. And if not, we'll have to,
So we're not,
we can always come back and change
okay.
what we decided here.
I just want to clarify
Yep.
that
I understand.
there's no guarantee that he will be here after
Right.
January. So I don't want unless you get something in writing from the school that he's teaching through, there's no guarantee that he might not stay.
I think you have a very valid point.
Yeah, and thank you.
And for those EMTs taking that class and paying out of pocket for their money, or for their classes, because they have to pay through the school to take this class. And if they don't get to finish this class, who's going to reimburse them?
I think that we want to make,
Well, before we go ahead with all your valid points, and thank you for giving us a place to start, but the first thing we're going to have to do is, we're going to have to talk to the fire chief and the person doing it, seeing even if we can do it, and if he's doing it through a school, maybe there's some way, if he does leave and isn't here, that they can have somebody else come and finish. I mean, it's
I
something
just
like-
want to make
No,
sure that we're
no,
protecting the people that we're coming to ask. As a former paramedic for the
Yeah.
city of International Falls,
Yep.
those EMTs that go through those classes are indispensable.
Yeah, agreed, and that's why we are trying to work something out, so we can do that.
I just want to make
Yeah.
sure that we have a full picture of what's going to happen before we make commitments to people that we may not be able to follow through on. So, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Lisa.
good evening.
Good evening. Alan Cruz, 3077 County Road 20, International Falls, Minnesota. In regards to the band shell conversation, and I may, make enemies on this one, but I graduated from high school here. I was part of the Dirty Dozen. I am firmly aware of the legacy of Pete, and I even played in the band shell in the 95 all-class reunion with the all-class reunion Dirty Dozen. My question is, if the city has no money and is in a deficit, and we're talking about getting rid of life-saving features, how far does 700 grand go to paying off the bills that we have to the EMT bucket, or to the 3 ambulances that are on order? The band shell is a want. The band shell is a luxury that this city can't afford. It's horrible that it burned down, that what happened, but it happened. To where I've talked to several people across town, and I'm kind of with Councilor Wagner, is not everybody wants it rebuilt. And it's not about whether I think rebuilding it is a good idea or not. If the community was flush with cash and had no other actual emergent need for things, and wasn't upside down in terms of its budget to the ambulance fund, that's one thing, but you're not. I don't know how this council could actually vote in good confidence to spend money on rebuilding a building when it has bills that it can't pay now. To where I don't think it's a band shell whether we should or shouldn't thing. I think it comes down to is the city needs to get a hold of its budget, which I know all 5 of you know this. And I think it comes down to is it's an unfortunate thing, but that money should be looked at to plug holes where you're taking on water. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just a response to that, does that insurance money need to be spent on rebuilding that? I mean, I agree with the financial situation and whatnot, but if that money from the insurance company can only be spent to rebuild the band shell,
I know it would be League of Minnesota insurance through a certain local office. Betty, do you know the answer to that question?
I don't know the exact answer. That is something the committee has discussed, and we have not reached out for that until we got the dollar amount to understand that.
Okay.
We still do not have the dollar amount from the league in which we will be getting, for the structure.
Thank you.
But I believe you are probably on the right track. Pretty sure. But we don't have official word.
Okay. Yeah, so that kind of clarifies a little bit. If you have to spend it on that,
Yes.
then I would spend only that amount and not any extra.
Well,
Exactly.
that is our plan.
That's our plan.
Yeah.
Or less.
Thanks.
At this point, seeing no further comment, I will move to reminders. First, there is a special committee of the whole meeting, which is Monday, July 28th at 5:30 PM. Also, that same evening at 6 PM, there is an open house to discuss the proposed deer feeding ordinance. The next regular city council meeting is Monday, August 4th, 2025, at 5:30 PM. There is a special committee of the whole meeting Monday, August 4th, 2025, immediately following the regular city council meeting. This evening, after this city council meeting, there is an EDA meeting and then a special committee of the whole meeting. Is there any other business to come before this council this evening? This meeting's adjourned. Thank you.